All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kudash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Green Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that teaches word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And yeah, today I just want to tie this lesson for who, it's like for who say they doth hear. And that's concerning the so-called white man and the rhetoric, the laws and legislation that he puts forth, the things that he speak, which ultimately is him sharpening the sword, him waging war, on the nation of Israel, especially the elect of the nation of Israel, the ones that speak uprightly, you know. But it said, who say they dove here because this nigga write up a legislation, you know, and you just think that, oh, look at the Patriot Act, so-called, dealing with, what happened in 9/11. That was really this man, justifying himself, spying on the American people, as well as these other laws and legislation that have been passed where they can kick in your door without a warrant now, summary execution and all these things, things concerning domestic terrorism, you know, and matter of fact, let's just get the scripture first. The scripture, Psalms 59, because this is the devil. See, the Lord ain't called this man the devil for nothing, man. He's living up to it. He's deceiving on all levels. Even like I said, dealing with these laws and legislation, you think they're meant for protection, but it was really set up for him to justify himself the way he's walk on the people. So this is, and it's all in secret. He's all doing it under the shroud of secrecy. Like you ask a regular person who ruled the world, they might tell you Biden, you know, or they might say it depends on what region you're in. Little do they know that it's the international bankers, the so-called Jews, these Amalekites of the nation of Edom that's ruling the planet Earth, that's passing the laws, that's setting the trends. It's them, man. It's them niggas. But we understand what this man talking about, So let's get this. This is the book of Psalms 59. I start at 1. It says, deliver me from my enemies, O my power. Defend me from them that rise up against me. See? So that's the only thing we can do is hope Yahweh Basham Shai, live that standard in that day. Because Esau Edom is going to come down with great wrath. He got, this man, he's known for his military might. So it's going to have to take divine intervention to be delivered from these things. And we're in the beginning stages of this man rising up against us. Just going back to these laws, legislation that's being passed, the rhetoric, what he put on the media, just dealing with old dude. I keep forgetting a nigga with the dreads name. He pretty much, shot the cop. And they said he had fringes on, man. So it's already been put in motion. It says, verse 2. So like verse 2, deliver me from the workers of iniquity, save me from bloody men. See, the workers of iniquity. So that lets you know they're the ones that's fashioning, shaping, and molding iniquity through the media, through their laws, what they push forth out of their mouth. And it says, save me from bloody men, because that's what it ultimately leads to. Him trying to kill you. See, you didn't see Saddam Hussein on the news just because, you know what I mean? It was so that he can justify himself coming down upon, going in that land, as well as other people he set up and pushed forth as the boogeyman. It was ultimately so he can wage war on them, man. For lo, they lie in wait for my soul. The mighty are gathered against me, not for my transgressions, nor for my sin, O Lord. See? So they lie in wait. They're preparing, you know, and strategizing to overthrow us. They run and prepare themselves without my fault. See? Just going back to them laws again. See, now we have caught on to your ill dealings, Esau. You have now been revealed as the devil, you know, our arch enemy, Esau, even the so-called white man. You have now, the spotlight is on you. We see why our people catch here. We see why, every time we've been put, in a spotlight, is always in a bad sense, and they doing this is because ultimately it's driven by hatred because of their birthright, man. And it tells you that he pretty much he cried bitterly because of the blessing, man. Now you seeing it play out through his media, through his laws, the rhetoric, even the sayings. You know what I mean? That's him weeping bitterly. It says, let me see. Let me jump down. Let me get to the point. Verse 7. Psalm 59, verse 7. It says, behold, they belch out with their mouth. See, and you go into that belch, it means to spew violently. So that's what this man is speaking. He's speaking violence. He is the sword. Everything he do is really for war. Oh, it tells us they continually together. They continually gather together for war. That's on all levels, man. But you go into that word belch, it goes into a violent spew. So they belching out their mouths, meaning the laws and legislation they push forth it contributes to them bringing forth violence, man. To subdue the people, man. Which he's going to do it by the way of his military. It says, swords are in their lips. For whom say they, Doth here? See? So it says swords are in their lips. So meaning what? The things they speaking is really waging war against, somebody, man. Who is that? Really the elect of the nation of Israel. Those are the ones that this man really want. Those are the ones that matter of fact, let's get something real quick. We're gonna go back to this scripture. That's why you got YouTube guys. That's why you got censorship and all these different things. Because truth, light, that's one thing that this man really hates. A thinker, So that's why these different laws, these legislations, these barriers of what you can say and can't say. That's who it's geared for, man. And it ultimately is going to become physical, man. It's going to get to the point you're going to see, certain man face on the news, man. Motherfucker might have a bounty on their head. Your family might turn you in because of this word, this truth, the light. Pretty much exposing this man for who he is. See, we heard what this nigga talking about, and we telling the rest of, everybody else. We informing the people that the so-called white man and his agenda. You know what I mean? So this is why that rage is gonna boil over and it's gonna become physical. So let's get this Revelations 12 and 17. It said, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. See? And that's one of the characteristics of Esau. Wrath, being full of anger. That's an actual characteristics of Esau, because it's always driven. That hatred is always towards the nation of Israel. Like we, the nation of Israel got enemies, which all the other heathens are our enemies. Yeah, had a beef with Moab and Philistines and Ishmaelites, but our arch enemy, so-called white man, Esau, Edom, And every time you see this nigga when he come on the scene, it's always to help forward our downfall, man. You know, because he's driven by hatred. He's full of that rap. So it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. See, and you seeing this man declaring war upon the remnant. Like I said, just going back to YouTube guidelines, you know, censoring what you can say and can't say. They pretty much compromising their own First Amendment, you know, because their agenda is now being exposed. You know, they compromising the internet because this is what's shedding light upon, you know, his ill dealings. They're just like, if you shot somebody and you buried the gun in your yard and you see me out there with a shovel, you gonna try to kill me. Because that means I'm exposing you and your ill dealings. And that's what you're seeing on a bigger scale. So that's why this man is making war with the remnant. And that war is going to become physical. You're going to actually see, you know, troops at your front door, or however the case may be. You might be charged with treason because that's what it is. That's what it is. You know? That's why you had, like I said, the Patriot Act and all these different things, you know, things concerning domestic terrorism. You know, oh, you had that word conspiracy theory been thrown around a lot more. You know, because they understand that this word is damaging their what they trying to accomplish, man. It's preventing them. Oh, it tells you. Matter of fact, let's get some real quick. I think that's the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 44. Yep, in verse 25. It reads, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars. See? So what frustrates a liar? Truth. And when you get frustrated, it gets to the point where it becomes physical. Now you got to put your hand on somebody. But that's what's going to take place. It says, and make up diviners mad, see? That turn a wise man backward and make of their knowledge foolish. See? So, and that's by the way of this truth. And this is what's going to contribute to this man coming down with great wrath. That's why he's signing laws and legislation now to justify himself just going in, you know, to make himself look like the superhero in this manner, man. You know, for him to be the protagonist. Because we are frustrating his tokens. We are, like I said, his agenda is now, like I said, the turning wise man, he got to go back to the drawing board. How can they now present the chip, you know, as convenience for people to want it? Well, that's being stopped, man, because of this word. You know? So it says, and the dragon, this Revelation 12 and 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, which is this doctrine, which is the true light. You know, this information is not distorted. It's clear, straight to the point. You know, and having this information, now you got a target on your back. Because, like I said, if you knew what a murder weapon was and you digging it up, then they're going to try to kill you too, man. You know? But you got to be in the know. So the ones that's in the know, he coming after you. So this is on Psalm 59 and 7 again. It says, behold, they belch out with their lips. It's like they belch out with their mouth. Swords are in their lips. For who say they doth hear? See, so meaning what? These different laws of legislation being passed, you know, the things they put on the media, these different enchantments they push forth on the news and, you know, shit like that. People ain't catching on to it. Because matter of fact, I got this word here. Let me get that real quick. This word here. Because it said who say they doth hear. So they motherfucker put something on the 6 o'clock news, throw it up there, and then you'll never hear from it again. And it just go over people's heads. You know? They're not, matter of fact, let's get that word here. It says to hear with attention or interest. See? So just the regular old American is not going to be attentive of what's being on the news, which a lot of this shit is bullshit. But certain things you gotta take heed to, you gotta consider, because it is different in champs. You know how the devil operates. He'll throw a truth and 3 lies in it. You gotta have the spirit of discernment, which is from Yahweh Shemal Shada, to pick out the bones, man. These different laws, legislation that being passed, you gotta be attention to those things, even all the way down to the what was the law, the HR 666. This just went over the average American head, man. But for the ones that got the testimony of Yahweh Shai, was attentive to it. It took heed with interest, and now it's being found out the so-called white man's the devil, man. It says to understand. See, we understand what this man is trying to do. These steps he's taking to crown his enterprise of success, man. So we hear everything this man is putting forth. We seeing everything this man, because the light is on. The light is on this man. Tells you they meet with darkness in the daytime. You know what I mean? So we clearly see that this man, like I said, is trying to crown his enterprise success. People just think that, so-called Illuminati, these what you call the so-called conspiracy theories, that ain't no such thing as a depopulation agenda. Ain't no such thing as this man is trying to tag everyone on planet Earth, because you didn't understand it. You didn't take heed. You didn't consider these different steps, this transition this man is trying to make, man. But we see it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shai. It says, let's see, bear with me. It says yield to. See, so meaning what? Like you said, you got to stop and consider. You got to assess these different things. Observe. Like I said, a lot of this shit be bullshit this man puts forth on the news. But when it things concerning the military, you getting the jab, something that's he's trying to get you in that zone of where you willingly take that MOB. Those are the things that you got to yield to. You got to sit back and assess. It says I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, consider, see, attentively. It says, so you got to be attentive, because he's the serpent, he's the snake. You got to watch this man. Matter of fact, what the scripture say, bear with me real quick. I think this is it. Let's see, Sirach 12. Get to the point. Sirach 12 and Sirach 12, I start at 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So you can't trust the so-called white man. And even now, you shouldn't trust this man. Today, the 2021 Edomite is worse than the 1850 Edomite, because over time, rust, it gets worse. So this nigga is even more of a devil now, man. So don't never trust this man at any point of time for any situation. No, not never, man. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. See, so you got to watch this nigga, man. Because he's that serpent. You ain't going to know that serpent was there till you get bit, unless you are, like I said, you taking heed now. You're bewaring. You watching out for this nigga. You know, the things that come on the news, like I said, these different laws that are being passed. Oh, even these different events by the way of false flags attacks. You got to watch all that shit, man, because he is that serpent, man. You know, and it will go over the average people's heads. You know, dealing with, it was a series of it, which is still going on, shootings and shit. That's becoming the norm now. Not knowing it's some brewing, it's some conjuring up. This man is shaping and fashioning and mold. That's that he's the working of iniquity. So he can, you know, take the guns away or however the case may be. You know, it's always a sinister plan behind everything this man do, man. Even when he do tell you the truth, so-called, it's gonna be a lie in it. You know, so everything this man do is a sinister plan behind it. So it says, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. See, you're gonna know this that same nigga, man. This that same nigga, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, the deceiver. You know, and he's doing it, how he operates is in secret. But that lets you know we in the end of his run because he's being exposed now. Let's get this in the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, and verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. See, this nigga seek deep to hide his counsel, man. That's why you got these different summit meetings and the Bohemian Grove, and as well as other councils that this man have concerning, you know, the next move that's going to take place on the planet Earth and what's the next trend that's going to be set forth. Because how they seeking deep to do that? Because you don't know who's ruling the world. You don't know who's signing off on these laws, you know, these trends, and you know what I mean. It's the bankers that's doing that, and you got prime ministers and presidents, and you know that will be their mouthpiece, man. But as you can see, we have dug up the evidence. It's the so-called white man, the Edomites, starting with Amalek, the chief house of Edom, that's doing these things. So we hear what you're saying. We see what you're doing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. We know what you're speaking in your bed chamber, man. Oh, hey, when you read Wisdom Solomon the second chapter, that's pretty much around about slumming up what they be talking about in their meetings, man. You know, when you read Wisdom Solomon the second chapter, concerning the ungodly that's reasoning among themselves, man. You know? So him read it again. It says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. Yeah, so they'll send Biden to go say it. Or Angela Merkel. You know? All the way down to Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Nas X, to push for a certain agenda that they want out. But they do it in the dark by doing it through other people. You know? So their hands can be clean. They ain't got no dope on their hands. Somebody else had it. You know what I mean? It says, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Well, we see you are the international bankers. You are the Edomites. You the ones that's doing it. Light has been shed upon you now. Your agenda has been exposed. Because just going back, when you hear about these conspiracy theories dealing with depopulation, or like I said, tagging everybody by the way of the MOB, and as well as other things, it's not far-fetched, man. So certain shit you just can't make up. You just that salty, you're gonna come up with a rumor and it's gonna be outlandish. No, somebody had to tell them, they seen it, or they went through it for that information to come out. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Psalm 64, which I'm gonna jump down and I'm gonna jump back up on this. This Psalm 64 in verse 8. It says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. See? So meaning what? That's the spirit of truth set upon the planet Earth. And that's why you even have whistleblowers to come out to expose this man, to shed light upon his ill dealings. Like I said, when you hear about these conspiracy theories, these agendas that this man is trying to push forth, it had, you know what I mean? Somebody brought that forth because the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of truth set upon the planet Earth, and they was really set up to expose the devil, man. You know, to expose this man. You have certain people that were part of this secret cabal just so they can be exposed. That's the Lord setting that up, man. So they let you know that one of his strengths was dwelling in the shroud of secrecy. And that pillar is now being taken away by the way of this truth, this true light, this doctrine. You know? So matter of fact, I'm going to jump up on this. Psalm 64 in verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. See? That's why you have Fagos in your hood, but you ain't going to find no Fagos at the Whole Foods. Finance are accessible unto you. It's plenteous. You got abundance of Fagos in the hood, but you can't find one. You can't find a yellow bag worth of none. Like I said, at Whole Foods, man. That's part of the secret counsel of the wicked, and that just on a smaller scale, man. Because one of these things that this man is trying to do is cut the nation of Israel off. You know, by keeping our people down, you know, in the mind. You know, what was that? Farrakhan and all these different leaders this man have set up, because they was all set up by Esau Edom. You keep us in further region, keep us dead, put guns in our, neighborhoods and drop dope off and he taught us how to cook crack, man. When you really go into it, because Jay ain't got a mental capacity to make dope lock up and everything like that, but it's this man that's conjuring and formulating these things to keep us down, to kill us off. He says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. See, going to the workers of iniquity, meaning they're conjuring and fashioning certain iniquities. Like I said, going back to a Fago, somebody actually went into a lab and came up with a Fago. And when you look at the ingredients with the spirit, I had looked that up, man. It's none of that shit I couldn't really say, man. Only thing I could really say was red 5 and, you know what I mean? Those different coloring agents they put in it, But that's the work of iniquity. It says, who whet their tongue like a sword. See, that's them sharpening. They pretty much preparing themselves to wage war on you. But it starts by them justifying themselves, passing these laws and legislations, showing you certain things on the media to say, you know what, they need to go to jail. You know what, they need to be persecuted. But it starts by the way of his mouth first, where he speak, the rhetoric, the media, and it all the way down to the laws. It says, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And when you bend your bow, when you shoot a bow and arrow, you got to be aiming somewhere. Who he aiming at? The other nation of Israel, but really, matter of fact, because it says the bow. Let's see if I can find this real quick. The other nation of Israel, but really the ones that got the testimony of Yahushua, as we just read in Revelations chapter 12. Yep, this is it right here. This is Psalms 11 and 2. For lo, the wicked bend their bow. See, they make ready the arrow upon the string, so they got it bent back, that they may shoot privily, that they may privily shoot at the upright and hard. See, so that's who, these laws and these legislations against. The ones of upright heart, the ones that have the testimony of Yahweh, this doctrine, the light, because having this information will, um, damage what he got going on. That will frustrate the tokens of the liar. What frustrate a liar? Truth. So that's who the arrows, the bitter words are for. Those laws concerning concentration camps you getting thrown. What it was, Rest 84, Project Megiddo, Garden Plot, all these different, executive orders that have been let's see. Okay. All right, I'm gonna read verse 3 again. This is Psalm 64:3. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. See, it's all in secret. It's all under the shroud of secrecy. You not knowing this nigga would throw the rock and hide his hand. That's how it's always been with the so-called white man. All the way down to this nigga so crazy, man. Everybody name changed. Now you got Chinese, you got Japanese, you got African, Indian, just so you won't go back and trace him. But everything he do is under the shroud of secrecy, under the banner of deception, darkness. That's why this kingdom is also known as darkness, because of the misinformation that these people receive, the disinformation that this man pushed forth. So it says, but it said he's doing it in his secret. It says, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of land snares privily. They say, who shall see them? See, so that's the mindset of this nigga, man. Nobody is not going to go back to him. He's not going to be traced back. It's not going to get traced back to him. His fingerprint, that's why the spirit had him where he ended up trying to take these different statues down and shit like that. Nigga changed Columbus Day to what they call it, the native some shit, some crazy shit. But there's really this nigga trying to wipe the fingerprints off, man. But it's too late. You already been exposed for the devil, that the Bible speaks of, man. But the point is what? Now you're being exposed. We see what you're saying. We hear what you do, you know, we see what you're doing, we hear what you're saying, man. You know? So let's get this in the book of Job. Because that was going to be the steps taken before your downfall. You being exposed. This Job 5 and verse. I started 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. See? Which that word device, that's what the ultimate going to lead to. Because we understand that word device in the scriptures concerning, you know, plots and schemes, usually in an evil manner. But how ironic that word device in this modern term is something that you plug up in the wall. You put batteries in. It's a Bluetooth. Because that's what it's going to lead to. This man actually putting a device in your hand or in your forehead by the way of that MOB, that thing. You know? And that's, like I said, this is what's driving that. That was going to fuel that hatred. This is what's going to get him to that boiling point. You know? Because we calling your play. You know? That's what contribute to his anger. That's what's gonna cause the military to come forth. It says he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. See, one of those was by the way of the internet. You know, that First Amendment, who says freedom of speech. But now, as you see, these things are now being compromised. This nigga shoot himself in the foot. You know what I mean? It says, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. Why? Because now he on the clock. He got to rush it, you know, headlong. So his head, he got to, you know what I mean? And that's why you see this man is being sloppy with everything. Because he understands time is against him. And like, since you've been exposed, you got to hurry up and get it done now. It's not going to work, man. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. See, so because you meet with darkness in the daytime, mean what? Your agenda is now being exposed. Everything you speaking in your counsel, the things that you're trying to accomplish, is now being put out in the forefront. Light has been shed upon it. We dug up the skeletons out your closet. You know, and say you grope at noondays in the dark because you don't do well when truth is around. Now you're reaching. If you said no, I didn't do it, and it's something you got a witness say you did, and now you reaching saying, well, no, because this, you know, you reaching, man. So that's what happens when light is on display, because Esau is a nocturnal animal. He don't do well with light is out. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's why the scriptures, you know, call this man kingdom darkness or the night. Because he don't do well in light. It says, but he saved the poor from the sword and from their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. See, so because of this information was on display, this man came forth with the sword, with the mouth, you know. But the Lord, that's when the standard is going to be lifted. But as you can see, it's the information that we have that's going to drive this man to do these things. You know, because we hear what he's talking about. We actually understand. We picked up on it. We see what he's doing. We attentive to it now, man. You know? So this is why that's going to contribute to this man coming down with great wrath. Yeah, I mean, you know, but he's being exposed. Light is being shed upon this nigga. This is Jeremiah. I'm about to wrap it up. Jeremiah 49, verse 10. It says, but I have made Esau bare. See, I have uncovered his secret places. See, that's what is always secrets with this nigga, man. The so-called white man, and like I said, dwelling in the shroud of secrecy, deception, being in the dark, keeping you in the dark, you know, concerning things, you know. But the Lord have uncovered it. Light has been shed upon it. It's like lifting up that rock. You see this nigga been doing all types of crazy shit. You know? Oh, that's why just going back to that Psalm 64 said, the one that the tongue shall fall upon their own selves, everyone that see them shall flee away. So you seeing what a so-called white man is about, you seeing what he's doing, where he's heading to. You don't want no parts of it. We want to be part of this society. You know, we're not for his turn. Why? Because we see the light has been, we see what this nigga is, man. We see what he's about. You know? He's been uncovered. He's been stripped naked, made bare. You know? It says, and he shall not be able to hide himself. And it lets you know this is Cain in the spirit, man. Because that was his driving force, was to stay hidden, to be that fugitive and a vagabond, to not be found out. Why? Because the scripture says his punishment was greater than he can bear, man, which was being cursed to be an Edomite. So why, just going back, like I said, everybody's name changed because of this nigga. So you won't trace back his ass. It was this nigga that did it. You know? It says, read it again. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. See, so this is the time it said his seed is spoiled, because this is that generation where the spoiling will take place. You know, since he's spoiled, it's gonna get to the point where he's gonna be spoiled, and this is that generation, and he's gonna come to naught. But it starts by the way of him being exposed. That's why it says, then when the wicked be revealed, the Lord's going to destroy him with the brightness of his coming. So he be revealed first, then it leads to him. The culprit got to be pointed out. Then he could be sentenced and judged. And this nigga has been pointed out. The so-called white man as Esau, Edom, in the scriptures, and also the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I mean? So, you know what? I'll wrap it up with this. This is the book of St. Luke. Bear with me. St. Luke 8 in verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. See? So everything this man have done in secret is going to become manifest. His agenda will be made known. You know, his ill dealings, the things that he's trying to accomplish, is going to be made known. Oh, and we're reproving it. I'll tell you that the things that manifest is light, and is a reprover, man. So we were proving the unfruitful works of darkness. Everything this man puts forth, you know, dealing with the different ideologies, the ways of life, you know, all the way down to how this man governs the planet Earth. We were proving all these things, man. Light has been shed upon it that this man is deaf, you know, and that he's got to go, man. See, here's the reason why you coughing. You got plastic bottled water, or that there's a infestation of bundles of sticks everywhere, man. He's the source, man. He is the reason why. Matter of fact, this is what I was trying to get earlier. This is on Wisdom of Solomon 1 and verse 7. For the Spirit of the Lord filleth the world, see, which is truth, Spirit of truth. The knowledge of the glory of the Lord is going to fill the earth. So this information will be on display worldwide, and it's happening through the internet, you know. And this is where the information is on display. That light is on display. It says, and that which containeth all things have knowledge of the voice, Therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid. See, so as you can see, once this information settles upon the planet Earth and it gets through every nook and cranny, this nigga can't hide himself. It's gonna always go back to Esau. That's why we always talk about. That's was that Ezekiel 35, prophesy against Edom. That's a commandment, and we see not. We see why, because you can talk about anything. Best believe you're gonna talk about this nigga Esau Edom because light is on display, and you gonna point out the nigga that was bringing forth the darkness. You can talk about Urs, but then you're gonna be like, yeah, because Esau, anything is gonna always go back to this nigga was the reason why it's off. So it says, therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid. Neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. And this is the time where the vengeance comes straight for his ass, man. Because Esau haven't really been judged yet. He always kind of just went on. But this is the time where he's going to get his ass handed to him, man. But it starts by way of this information first. Like I said, the corporate got to be pointed out first. Then the judgment can take place. So this back St. Luke 8 and verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. See? Neither anything hid, Esau, that shall not be known and come abroad. See? And that's why you have the internet today where we can put it out there. It's cast it abroad. It's out there. The things that have been hidden, the things that was in secret is now being put on display, man, through the internet. So everything this man say he do, we're gonna do a video on it. We're gonna expose this nigga. For who? So going back to the title, for who say they Doth here? That's the men of Yahweh Shema Shai. The prophets. And we the one that bringing out this man and his ill agenda. The sinister, see, we bringing out the sinister part of what this nigga trying to do. Yeah, he could say he's coming in the name of health, but he really trying to see who all gonna take that thing, But who say they Doth here? So this man, he's trying to do everything on the banner of secrecy. But since light has set upon the planet Earth, there's nowhere to hide. And that was going to contribute to this man bringing forth his military. But also, that's when the standard is going to be lifted. So, but at the end of the day, Esau, you're going to lose, man. And that them L's is starting now. Like I said, we in the beginning of sorrow. We in the beginning of your L's as well, man. To that big L when our Lord Yahweh Shai returns and overthrow this place, man. So yeah, I just hold it with edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakha Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say shalom to the elect that teach word on true faith and sincerity. DTA of Bible Ball. Soon, very soon. Tonight, money credit.